Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries, Book 1, The Joy of Extradimensional Spaces, and this is Chapter 6, Blades, Books, and Beyond. This is, of course, our regular campaign from the Candlekeep Mysteries, happening every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that follow button and turn notifications on so you can be alerted whenever we go live. First thing I'm going to draw attention to is something you've probably already noticed, the fact that we are down 2 players tonight. We are down both Dwight and Ricky. Mizya and Vornuk will be on autopilot essentially tonight, as neither of them could be with us, but they wanted us to carry on, and we all agreed that we would continue on tonight with our adventures. And so that's what we're going to do. Real quick, I would like to draw your attention up above Jordan's head. In the upper right hand corner, you will see that there is several domain tomes, domain dice, we call them here, domain tomes in this adventure. The domain tomes are a way that you, the audience, can have an influence on what's happening in our game. By you donating 500 bits, tipping $5, or subscribing or resubscribing, or even gift subs work as well to the channel, you earn tomes that the players can cash in. 1 domain tome will grant advantage on any die roll. 3 domain tomes can be used to re-roll a die that they are unhappy with. And for 5 domain tomes, they can make me re-roll a die roll that they are unhappy with. And they can only do that if you help them out. So keep that in mind. With your subs and your gift subs and all those wonderful ways that you can participate in that. I also want to draw attention to our channel sponsors indicated down in the lower left-hand corner of the stream. You will see that first up is Talon and Claw. Talon and Claw are makers of fine wooden dice accessories. There's all kinds of t-shirts, dice, DM screens, dice vaults, dice trays, cutting boards, coasters, all kinds of things that our friend Anthony works on over there, and his amazing artisans, I guess is the word I want to use, artisans in the shop that are creating all this wonderful stuff. By typing !MTD Claw in the chat, you will get a link to the Talon and Claw Etsy shop. From there, you follow that link, pick out all of the stuff you want to buy for yourself or your friends, pick up something for your DM, use code MTD Claw when you go to checkout and get 10% off of your order and help support the channel. Our other sponsor is Run Right Play. You can type !RWP. Our good friend of the channel, friend of the community, Keel, has created an incredible community of collaboration with Run Right Play, and puts out a monthly zine that he puts so much care into, and its entire focus is promoting collaboration within the community. The most recent zine features myself and MTD Dwight with some of our minis that we've painted. There's lots of terrain and minis, dice towers I've made in the past, things like that. But be sure to follow that link, and you can check out the Patreon, where you can sign up to get both a digital version of the zine, or you can sign up for a physical edition of the zine delivered to you monthly. So check that out. I think the zines are available after they've been released for a couple weeks. They're available on DriveThruRPG as well. I will confirm that. We'll have to add that link in perhaps. Let's see. Of course, as always, you can type !Jaspers or !Coffee to get connected, get the donation links with Jasper's Game Day or with Initiative Coffee Company. It might be just Jasper, Jordan. I always say Jaspers, and I think it is just Jasper. Thank you. Those links will allow you to donate directly to Jasper's Game Day, which, of course, they are dedicated to suicide prevention and funding crisis centers around the country. I believe that is it for our primary announcements. The last thing I want to mention real quick before we get started, as always, we want you to know that you matter. You make a difference. We're glad you're here, but we understand that, well, sometimes things can be rough. You can get stressed out. You can be burdened, overwhelmed. Maybe you're just not doing okay. First off, that's okay. It's okay to feel that way. But you don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to suffer in silence. We encourage you always, if you need somebody to talk to please reach out. We have made it super easy for you to find some help for whatever it is you might be struggling with. You can come here to our chat any time of day or night, whether we're streaming or not. We don't have to be on air. You can come in middle of the night if you want to. Come into the chat and type !help. And a wonderful help message will pop up providing a link to findahelpline.com. It is a fantastic resource. You simply put in your location, such as what state do you live in, or what country and province or something like that. And they will provide you with multiple resources for helplines, whether it be for various mental health issues, suicide, lifelines are available, domestic abuse, whatever it may be, you can find help there. And we encourage you to use that URL, findahelpline.com. So do please use that resource. All right. If Dwight were here, he might be proud of how quickly I've gotten through the announcements yet again. We are ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Our intrepid adventurers have been unwittingly trying to solve the mystery of how to get the heck out of this magnificent mansion that they found themselves within. I say unwittingly because all of them came of their own accord for their own reasons to the great library at Candlekeep, and were almost immediately caught up in a whirlwind of mystery around the mysterious disappearance of the sage Matreus, friend of their new ogre acquaintance, Little One, who beseeched them to please help find Matreus. The tiefling avowed adjutant from the library by the name of Irony showed up and said, "Hey, we got a problem. Come with me." And immediately showed them to a study that Matreus had been in and had been missing. They found a book on extradimensional spaces. Mizya found a code word, uttered it, and a portal opened. So naturally, they went through the portal, upon which they found Matreus, who basically said, "Hey, awesome, the door's open, great. I'm gonna leave. By the way, cool. Look, I found this statue of an imp. I'm gonna take it. There's a lot more cool stuff in here. Why don't you guys do me a favor? See what else you can find. If it's anything cool, bring it with me. I might pay you some gold. I might give you some exposure. But in either case, just when you're done, meet me outside and we'll talk." He went through the door, and almost immediately they heard what sounded like a scream get cut off. Assyria tried to open the door and found only the swirling purple void of the extra-dimensional space beyond the mansion. They began investigating around the various rooms in this mansion and discovered that the creator of this permanent Mordenkainen's magical mansion had, as a safety precaution, hidden the access so that nobody could be permanently stuck in here by hiding the code word amongst 7 books hidden throughout the mansion. And they have found, I believe, 6 of the books have been found already. Of course, they only have possession of 5 of the books, because they, in the most recent room that they're in, amongst having to fight a swarm of animated books, a animated hutch full, a bookshelf basically, full of chained books that literally almost outright killed Teera.
Yeah.
Amongst all of that, they now find themselves suddenly faced 2 floating flying swords that have just begun to whirl about as they were heading for another book that they had just discovered in this what looks to be a sort of a parlor or sitting room. And that is where we are going to pick up in just a moment as I take a look here. It looks like I owe you a couple of domain tomes, thanks to RQ
Darn right you
Staffen
do.
for gifting out a sub, and Monty DL for resubscribing. So that's going to work like this. I'm just going to cast a little bit of magic, make that one appear, and try that again, make that one appear. Let's see, I owe you one more, so I'll have to do this. Want to make sure you have all the domain dice you are deserved, just in case, because, friends, I need you to roll for initiative.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh. Oh, right off the bat.
Okay,
Oh.
that's not
And I will get those numbers from you in just a moment. I am going to use the die roller to roll for
Vornuk.
Vorn and
Mizya.
Mizya. So if you're hearing this weird sort of wet slappy sound, it's because I have the blood dice enabled.
Oh god.
Weird.
Yes, it is very weird. It sounds like somebody's just taking a wet washcloth and is throwing it around. I don't know why that got Jordan.
I struggle to know where Gary ends and Doc begins. Is this a Gary reaction?
I don't know. I don't know what just happened. It just broke Jordan.
That was scary.
And Doc.
That was Gary's face.
Oh, Syria.
Yes, 18.
Let's see. Mizya got a 16. Teera.
12.
Doc got a 21.
Whoa.
Gary, I love and appreciate you so much.
Vorn got a 10, and I need to roll.
I can't wait for when I have my ranger spells. I can't do
Oh.
anything.
Well, whoa. I am. Hold on. I'm going to need to get those numbers from you again in just a moment.
Okay.
Because I actually.
Aw, Hawkmere dedicated a tome to Gary.
Oh, that's a nice.
Oh,
This tome is for Gary. I know that goes against everything I stand for, but he deserves it.
it's very true.
And I did
Thank you,
award that tome.
Hawkmere.
Hold on one second. I had the.
Oh, good.
Apparently, it was open to a random encounter that was not. You were about to fight something you are not ready for.
Oh no.
So let me open the correct encounter.
We're not ready for this.
All right, so Syria, you got an 18.
Yep.
Mizya got a 16. Teera got a
12.
Teera got a 12. Yes, I
That's what I
apologize.
thought.
12.
Yes,
Dot got a 21. Vorn got a 10.
I feel like I'm back in
And
D&D
my
Alliance. Everything's OP.
my swords
Your swords.
are there.
I hold my
100
sword.
bad
Alright.
guys with swords.
Here we go.
Yes.
Doc, as Mizya began to move through the room towards that, just as a reminder here, actually, let me bring up the map screen. To refresh everyone's memory, you are there where the arrow says you are. In that study area, there's some chairs, comfortable chairs, a couple of tables with books on them. And on the far side of the room to the south is a fireplace over which the swords were hanging. Next to the fireplace was a couple of red velvet chairs and the stand that had a book with the letter Y on it. I believe, yeah. And Vorn had pointed it out. Mizya began to walk towards it. That's when the swords detached from the wall, and that's where we find ourselves now as Doc. It is your turn.
Doc is going to walk up to one of the swords. He's going to double tap his elbow, and he's going to make a special attack action to attempt to shove it prone.
Nice.
Sure.
So I will use my athletics versus your athletics or acrobatics, and we will see. 17.
Nice.
Let's see. Interesting. Okay, so that's going to be... That was almost a natural 20.
Oh.
It is not. It is a 9. Doc, what does it look like? How do you knock this thing out of the air to the ground?
Elbow drop from the top rope, and it's now prone.
Oh my god. Awesome.
They're just... Doc leaps up, and you just see him hit this sword on the flat of the blade, and it just kind of goes... clang!
Oh.
Boy.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Amazing.
Anything else, Doc?
No.
All right. Well, it's the sword's turns now.
Oh, great.
As this sword is going to immediately fly up off from the ground where you knocked it down and attempt to... Basically, it's going to attempt to eviscerate you.
Oh.
It is going to be a very poor attempt. As it goes to rise up towards you, the way you knocked it prone, it sort of slid a little bit, and the tip of the blade caught in the weave of the rug. And so as it comes up, it actually comes up handle first, and then the blade causes it to... And it goes flying up towards the ceiling. I'm going to make it make a dexterity saving throw. Okay. It avoids impaling itself in the ceiling, but it does slam up against the ceiling. So it's essentially prone, but on the ceiling now about 12 feet above all of you. The second one is going to... 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going for Teera. That is going to be a 12 to hit you, Teera.
That does not hit me.
Woo!
So strong, yeah.
As the second sword right past you, magical swords flying through the air. Assyria, it is yours and Soren's turn.
All right. Assyria is going to take out her longbow and not an arrow, and she's going to try and aim at the sword that is now up on the ceiling right now. So that is going to be a natural 20. Thank you.
Oh,
right.
welcome back, Jordan.
That's
Welcome back.
Jordan
The
Lane,
new
everybody.
blessed dice.
Yeah, they are double blessed by
With the
me
power of friendship.
and Goblin. Thank you for that natural 20.
All right.
So that is going to be, hang on, 16 damage. She just is literally just aiming for, I guess, where is it like impaled into the ceiling? Or
No,
is
it had
kind of hovering
avoided
out
that, so
above?
it basically kind of went prone on the ceiling.
Okay. She's just aiming for the handle of the sword itself.
Sure,
just trying
sure,
to,
sure,
like,
sure.
knock it askew and just try and bring it down before it decides
You
to
see
skewer.
sparks as your arrow strikes the blade
Oh.
and actually causes it, while it stays up by the ceiling, you actually cause it to sort of do a flip in place, sort of on its long axis. So it just kind of, you hit it so hard.
Yes.
Nice.
Heck yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm actually gonna do something.
Uh-oh.
Roll a d10 for me.
Sure. Okay, D10.
I hate it when you say things like I'm gonna do something.
7.
Okay. Well, we are using as part of our damage that for the players, so naturally it should also affect the monsters as well. We are using Lloyd Collins' brutal wounds tables from the Eastcloth setting. I had you roll for me for System Shock because it took more than half its hit points in damage.
Yeah.
The sword is now punch drunk, which means it has disadvantage on attack rolls, saving throws, and it cannot take reactions.
Nice.
Heck yes.
Nice. Isn't there a sentient sword in Pokemon now?
I think there is, actually.
I think there is too. This is that.
All right. Any bonus actions or Soren actions?
Soren's just gonna kind of ready himself. He's gonna actually, seeing how Teera's been getting wrecked the last little bit, he's gonna kind of move over just to kind of assist, not jump in, but act as sentinel if need be.
Okay.
He likes you, Teera, so he's
That's
moving over
nice.
you.
I'm
That's
glad.
it from me.
So, something that Mizya specifically did after all of the problems you guys were having, after you fought the chained library and took a long rest in that room, Mizya used that time to move away from the rather scholarly spells they had prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And they took a few more offensive spells, such as you see. For now, I'm going to describe it rather generically because Dwight will have full control of what this looks like. But you see as 3 bright lights go shooting out of Mizya's hand towards the sword that was attacking Teera, as Mizya casts Magic Missile. Which,
Nice.
of course, we all know automatically hits. And that's going to do 6, 10, 13 points of damage to that sword from Mizya.
Why is it always the players that don't show up that end up kicking the most ass? This is bullcrap. I won't be here next week. Maybe I'll do something good.
So, hold on 1 second. So that's...
Just kidding, everyone. I have
16.
every intention of being here.
And then I said 13, yeah?
You did.
13, okay. So that is, I believe, Mizya's turn. I just want to check, see what kind of bonus actions they might have. Nope. I imagine Mizya looks at the swords with this sort of annoyed look and just says, yes, I will deal with this. And then shoots the magic missiles.
That was a great Mizya
That was
impression,
really good.
Jake. Yay, Jake.
All right.
Yay!
Teera,
Really good.
Teera, you
Okay.
are up. You are
All right,
You
so-
are engaged with this now
Mhm.
wounded sword.
So did it kind of like come like past me and is like, what is it doing? Is it floating? What is it doing now?
Yeah, it's at the height you would imagine it would be if it were being wielded by like a Goliath or a half giant or something. So it's
Okay.
probably somewhere in head height. It had taken a swipe at you and then it kind of got knocked a little wonky from the magic missiles.
Okay. I was gonna get creative, but I think I'm gonna
Get
fall
creative.
back on the okay. Okay, I guess I will. I want to try to grab it. I want to try to grab it by the hilt. I want to
Okay.
try to like catch it.
That's going to be a straight up grapple. That's going to be athletics versus athletics.
Okay, here I go. Maybe. 17.
Oh.
Maybe.
You pluck this sword out of the air, and you can feel it fighting against your hand. As you grab hold of it,
Awesome.
you got it firmly, but it's
fighting me.
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's like holding a hyper dog's leash.
Yeah.
It rolled really low on its strength, so you're able to get hold of it really easily.
Oh, okay, great. Can I, that counts as an action, right?
Yes, you use your
Probably?
action to
Yeah,
grapple it.
Okay, then I am done, and I'm just kind of like pointing at it. I'm like, guys, I think I got it, and I'm just like still like kind of being jerked around by the thing. Yep, but I have it.
Vorn, quickly in the process of removing his investigator's goggles and putting in place his fighter goggles, kind of looks over at you, Teera, and I gotta see what Vorn's got. Vorn, I think, yeah, Vorn had used this before. Vorn looks at you, Teera, and just says, "Can you hold it still?" As he holds up his great axe.
I'm doing my best.
All right,
Now-
because you have it grappled, I'm going to give him advantage on
Great.
his attack.
I try
Nice.
really hard to hold it still.
And I'm just going to hope that I don't roll a 1.
Oh no, God.
Well, if he has advantage, you would need to roll 2 ones for it to be really
Right.
bad. So
You are
Maybe
not
not.
going to believe this. I'm just kidding.
I don't
Oh,
shut
don't
Jake.
even. Why would you do
With
that?
advantage, that's a 21 to hit.
Nice.
So,
So I
let's
kind
see.
of like at the last second, like hold it out, like making it an easy shot for him.
So you feel it's almost like you're fighting Vorn. As you feel the sword move, and then a split second later, your hand sort of follows. As Vorn connects with it with his axe, sparks fly as his axe blade drags down the hilt of this. But the thing is still aloft. Doc, you are up. Let me double check. I think Vorn's only got 1 bonus action right now. Yeah, he doesn't need that. Yeah, okay. Doc, you're up.
Doc is going to look at Teera, and he's going to say, "That's what I was going to do."
You should still do it. Doc, you should still do it, please.
But now I'd be grabbing the wrong side.
I thought you meant what Vaughn did. You should just do what Vaughn did. Do what Vaughn did.
Cari, take a point of inspiration.
Okay.
Yes.
She's holding a literal sword, fighting against it.
Doc is going to go up and say, "No, I have a better idea. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do." And he's going to reach into his pouch. He's going to grab a small piece of wire. He's going to wrap it around some glass. He's going to take his thieves' tools and spark it so that it all goes up in a poof. He's going to tap Cari, and Teera, and he is going to give her guidance
Nice.
Right.
if she hopes to maintain the grapple on this sword.
Oh, goody.
I'm trying really hard.
All right. And just as you finish doing that with your hand out, the other flying sword drops down from the ceiling right towards you, Doc.
Oh no.
Actually, you know what? There's no reason for it to specifically attack you, so it's going to be
Delightful.
it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to attack Vorn.
Interesting.
That is going to be Against Vorn, that would be a 13 to hit. As it comes flying down, you see it sort of drop. Doc, you're standing next to Teera, and it drops in front of the two of you, and as Vorn brings his axe up almost instinctively, he deflects it, preventing it from striking anyone on the way down. It just missed Vorn's armor class. The one you are holding is going to attempt to break free. Actually, you know what? It's going to attempt to attack you with disadvantage.
Why would it do that?
So it's going to try to bend your wrist at an awkward angle
Oh.
and
Ah!
make an attack. So that would be disadvantage because it's grappled. I rolled an 8 and a 2, so you're just holding it steady. It's trying. You feel it trying to turn on you, Teera, and it's just not doing it.
Okay.
Assyria,
Awesome.
Yes.
it's your turn.
All right. I would love to make another attack at the sword that just dropped and tried to attack Vorn.
Sure.
So she's gonna noose another arrow. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
That is absolutely a hit.
All right.
Nice.
And that is going to be 6 points of damage for that one. So she's just
That was the
aiming,
new
trying
one that just dropped down and you attacked, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Was.
Yep. So she's just aiming for the handle again, trying to go for what she thinks might be the most sensitive part of the sword. I don't know. She's going for it.
You're gonna kick that sword right in the balls.
Yeah, you know.
your arrow flies through and you see it sort of again causes the sword to spin a bit as you strike the handle and some of the leather wrapping around the handle comes loose.
Nice.
Awesome.
Soren's turn.
Soren's gonna go for the leather part of the handle as well. Same sword, if possible. Let me pull up the stats.
Have Soren make an athletics check.
Okay. He doesn't have specifically an athletics.
It's just if there's no call out, then it's just straight strength.
Okay, cool. That's gonna be a 14.
Good enough.
Okay.
It's pretty high up there. I just wanted to make sure he was going to be able to get up to it and able to grab it. So,
Awesome.
all right, yeah, go ahead and have Soren attack the sword.
All right. He probably whiffs. That's a 10. Actually, I'm sorry. That's a 12
Hmm?
to hit.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Wait, where are they? I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you 100%. You have 17 domain dice.
Use
Yes,
the dice.
I'm gonna reuse that then. Yes.
Okay,
please.
so that would be 3.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Okay.
it's worth it.
Yep. That is much better. Okay, that is an 18 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay, so that is going to be 7, 8, 9. 9 damage. And would you consider this sword a creature? Or is it
It's a construct.
It's a
What's the phrasing?
if the target is a creature, it must succeed in a DC 11 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
For the purposes of that, I would say yes, but however, how does Soren destroy this sword?
Yes, dude. What?
So Soren just literally like onto the hilt of the sword and just starts kind of shredding it, kind of he would with like a toy when you see like a doll that's really happy. He's careful, so he's not hitting himself with the sword. But
You guys watch out! A wolf just grabbed a sword and is in front of everybody.
Oh yeah,
That is terrifying. Okay. Wow.
good boy.
I just imagine Soren dropping down until he's just laying on the ground and he's just that way dogs do. He's got one paw up over the blade, the other he's just
Yep,
chewing on it. The
100%.
sword kind of goes and then just stops moving.
Yep. And then he does the thing with like, you know, dogs, they like lick whatever it is, like the leather and bite it some more. So yeah. That's it.
Then
for
if you get
Soren.
close to him, he's like,
Okay.
That's it for Soren and I.
jeez.
Heck
It is Mizya's turn.
Mizya.
Mizya just kind of looks exasperated over at you, Teera. Yes, can we be done with this already?
I would love nothing more than to be done with this, Mizya. If you could give me a hand, I'd appreciate it.
And they make a familiar gesture as they are going to toll the dead against this sword, which is a... Get out of the way so I can read. Wisdom saving throw. That should go good for a sword.
Bet it's super wise.
Oh,
Hey, Greg.
it almost rolled really high.
Oh,
Instead, it rolled a 3. Somebody
Yes!
roll a
Yes.
d12 for me.
I will.
Do it. You've been snapping that sword. A
Yeah,
million
my
times.
right delt is on fire in real life. I got an
Oof.
11 on my D12.
Both times against these swords, you guys have rolled 1 over the remaining hit points.
Yeah.
Since you rolled it, Teera, how does Mizya... What does it look like when Mizya is told to dead? You hear this bell just... Boom, and you're holding the sword. How does it end?
Okay. So I imagine, first of all, as Tira's given Mizya a little sass, Mizya raises an eyebrow and is like, kind of gives Teera the, are you really going to talk to me like that face? And then just snaps their fingers. And then we all hear this gong in our heads that we are very familiar with at this point. And Teera notices the sword stops for a second, but then feels like this resonance, almost like it's starting in the middle of the blade and working its way out. For those of you who've ever played baseball or softball, it's like hitting a stinger.
Yep.
And it hurts her hand, Teera's hand, and then she drops it and it just falls totally motionless to the floor.
Damn.
Awesome. I
Teera?
100% know that feeling, but as a non-sports person, I always describe it as if you've ever hit a telephone pole with a baseball bat.
Oh,
That's too.
very, very relatable, Jake. Yeah, it's like that.
I've never hit a baseball or otherwise hard enough to feel it resonate in the bat.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
100%.
Teera,
Yes, Doc.
I have a question.
What is your question, Doc?
Can you point out the balls on the sword for next time?
I think Asaria would be better to ask that question too.
Asaria, could you point out the balls on the sword, please, for next time?
The what?
The balls on a sword, because you kicked that sword right in the balls.
Oh, I just went for the leather part.
Oh, okay.
I just assumed. I don't know if that's accurate. Although you see her like pull her sword out, and I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
guess.
It seems to be the weak point. It's probably not the pointy end.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. Oh.
I want to pick up one of the swords just to see it. Does it look like it's like well crafted?
There's nothing to write home about now that they're no longer flying. In fact, the one that that Mizya took out with the Toll the Dead, as you look closer at it, you can see that there are hairline fractures in the metal resonating from the center. This thing looks like one good strike and it would break apart like Narsil.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That's a Lord of the Rings
Ricochet.
reference.
I
for
know,
those
I
that-
got it.
For those that don't know.
I got it.
who here doesn't know? Let's be real.
Well, considering how literally every room we're walking in seems like something's coming alive, what if we use that maybe to toss in to potentially wake up whatever might be in whatever next room?
That's a good idea. I'll hang on to it for a little while.
Yeah.
I'll go grab the book.
That's
Yeah.
probably a great idea, actually.
Good idea, Doc. Doc, you can keep writing down ideas for the word in your little notebook. Now that we have another letter,
So
what do we
Huh?
have?
Yeah, we have.
We have a B and an R and an I and a T and an L and a Y. I think I've conclusively ruled out that the password is Bertha's.
It's not Bertha's and it's not Rabbit's either.
No.
I know. I'm as disappointed as you are.
It seems like it could be spelling brightly, but I think we only have one more tone.
We have one more letter.
Right.
Just one.
So it wouldn't be brightly.
We need more vowels. This doesn't seem fair.
Does anyone have 250 gold? Maybe we can buy one.
Oh my.
I'm flat broke, Doc.
I literally have. Well, I got a little bit from the coin that Teera gave me from our bet, but that was about it.
I was just asking because I have 0 gold.
I also have 0 gold
boy.
now.
Well, we'll get that squared away once. Well, we pay the wizard or show the wizard whatever we found. He said he'll pay us for whatever we find.
Yeah. Well, if he's alive, he gave a scream out like he was in trouble, which means we should probably hurry. Yeah. We've got one more book to find and one more room to search, right?
Yeah.
As a reminder, you came into this room through this hallway up here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the door down there, and then there's one more door at the end of the hall here that you're aware of.
Okay. So
A quick question. This book series is supposed to be able to help us get home, correct?
Yes, it's supposed to have the command word.
suppose a word.
I think I figured it out, but I don't know if Asteria has figured it out.
Do a wisdom check or an
You can-
intelligence check, probably.
Yeah, you could make a insight check if you wanted to.
Okay. I rolled really well. I rolled a 19.
Haha.
Honestly, when it comes to puzzles, I do
Yeah.
not make you make a distinction between your character. I mean, I'm totally on board if you want to roleplay that
Right.
your character wouldn't know something, but if you figure it out, I'm totally fine with you, just for future reference.
Yeah, let me just check something real quick.
You rolled a 19. That's
I
pretty
know,
darn
I'm
high.
just spelling it. I'm checking the spelling. So what I think it might be, my brother used to say this word, hypothesis, and you see Sarah looks very uncomfortable as she's saying that. My hypothesis of what this word could be is liberty.
Whoa.
You
Oh!
say that. You say that, and you all immediately feel this sort of from Assyria. It's like a rock being dropped into a still pond.
What? Screw the last room. Screw the last room.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Oh my god!
You all fee and seal. No, you all see and feel.
Yes. We broke him.
You all
We win.
You all see and feel.
Yes!
The very air seems to just ripple around and extend out, and you feel that it extends through the entire mansion. As you say this, there's just this.
Oh my! I think
I kind of Teera thinks for a second and then leans to Doc and says, "I told you we would have needed one more vowel."
You did.
Let's.
You really
get out
did.
Of here
Yeah, let's get the hell out of
quickly.
here.
Yeah.
You guys are just
I
gonna
wanna-
GTFO.
I
Oh,
want to
yeah,
go
let's-
fight with something made of meat.
Oh, let's go.
Anything but here. Anything but here.
We will head back to the room where
Where it happened.
yes,
The room where it
happened.
So you're gonna head back down to the front of the castle,
The
or
foyer,
the mansion.
please.
the
The
foyer.
foyer.
please, sir.
As you come down the stairs, through the hallway, down the stairs,
Oh,
and there's the foyer with the front double doors.
We did it. We got to go.
let's
We
go.
got to go. We got to go save the sage. And
Yep.
also never ever come back here or read another book
Mm.
ever.
I don't know about reading a book, but never come back here.
Right.
Yes.
Does the portal appear? I want to open the doors.
There's no
Mhm.
portal that you can see.
I want to open the doors.
Sure. You open up the door and you see that same purple miasma on the other side that you saw when Assyria opened the door after Matreus left.
Did it not work? Or
Say it
maybe
again.
Liberty?
And right in front of the doors, a portal materializes.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. And I
Book it.
I bamf through that thing like it's my job. I don't even wait.
So Teera goes through first.
Someone in
as-
this area run out.
I give the double birds to this whole house on the way out. And then I go.
Sure. So you emerge through
Oh,
into the study, and Teera, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
uh-oh. Maybe it's good that I went through first, guys. That's an 18.
You just narrowly avoid stepping on and falling over the body of Matreus laying on the floor next to where you come out of this portal.
Okay, knowing that everybody's behind me, I want to like grab him by the back of his like cloak and pull him out of the way. Is he dead?
You can't tell at the moment as you grab him, and you
just
you
wanna, like,
feel
yoink
dead
him.
weight as you move him. He's at least
Oh.
unconscious.
And who knows
As
how
you
long we
move
were in
him
there.
out of the way.
Sari and Soren were next.
Yeah, so you come in and you see, as soon as you come through, you see that Teera is dragging a body away from immediately in front of
Uh-oh.
the portal.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
I would like to do a medicine check immediately.
before you do that,
Okay, fair.
Teera, what's your armor class?
15.
Okay. What are you wearing for armor, by the way?
So
Oh.
Teera is wearing leather armor, probably that she made herself. It's pretty simple, but it's just leather armor. It's kind of minimalist. Not a ton on the arms, but she's plated like on her chest and like
You
the fronts
feel-
of her thighs.
On the back, on your as you're bent over pulling this body, you
Mhm.
feel something land between your shoulder blades. And I mean, I know you can relate to this. It feels about like a cat has just jumped onto your back.
Ugh.
And then you feel something hit hard into the leather of your armor on the shoulder, but it doesn't penetrate. And in that same moment, Assyria, Soren begins growling as you see a small devilish looking creature with wings perched on Teera's back. Its whip-like scorpion tail just withdrawing from attempting to strike her. At this moment is when the rest of the group, Doc, you come in with Mizya and Vorn right behind, and you all sort of see this view of Teera sort of pulling on a dead body, and there is a creature, devilish looking, you might say impish looking creature, on Teera's shoulders. And once again, I need you to roll for initiative.
Wow.
Oh, we
This is what we
got
get for freaking jumping ahead in the puzzle. Son of a-
Sorry.
Oh no. And I got the same initiative I got last time.
Teera,
Which was a 12.
What, Doc?
you still have my good idea. You should add a D4 to your initiative roll.
Oh, right.
How
I
long does
remember.
guidance last?
I think it lasts a minute.
It's been more than a minute since you
Okay.
cast that.
All right.
Thanks anyway, Doc. I don't know why it didn't work. I tried. Weird.
Assyria, what you got? Try that again.
16.
Okay, I didn't hear you the first time.
Sorry. I don't know
Mizya.
what's going on with my mic.
Mizya. Ooh, Mizya got a nat 20 on initiative.
Oh,
Misha's mad we left.
they're gonna be so
Yeah.
disgusted with us at the end of this
Misha's
day.
so mad we
Uh,
They're
left.
pulling all the weight.
Doc.
Freaking Dwight.
14.
And let's see. Vorn is going to get a 6. That sounds about right for Ricky.
Power 6.
A power 6.
Yeah.
And
Let's
then
go.
we've got a.
I got a 12. You never asked me.
Oh, you said you got the same thing as last time, so
That's very
I just
true.
remembered.
But you knew?
I remembered.
I'm sorry?
So
Wow.
I wrote
Yes.
that's. I've already put it in.
That's
Uh,
impressive.
So Mizya is actually going to get to act first. I imagine as they came through the portal, Mizya's like, yes, let's find this Matreus. Oh, no, this won't do. And immediately cast magic missile at the thing. I'm going to have each of you roll me a d4
Oh no.
and then add 1 to it and tell me what your number is.
2.
2,
2.
4,
5.
9. 9 points of damage as these 3 bright
Yay.
beams of light strike into this. Where'd it go? Into this impish creature. We said 9, yeah. Whoops.
Yes.
Doc, roll me a d10,
Okay.
please.
9.
All right. It just gets completely blasted by these things, and you see it shake its head. It does not. It has lost the ability to take reactions this turn.
Good.
Nice.
But it is its turn as it reaches down, grabs hold of Teera's hair, and sort of pulls your hair back as it is attempting to sting you again. Oh, jeez. You
Yes, it hits.
No.
Oh, sorry.
an
Sorry,
8's
no.
not gonna hit you.
No, it's not.
It's maybe dazed from Mizya's attack. You feel this tail bat into the side of your neck, but it misses with the stinger, the barbed stinger, as it fails to damage you. Asaria, you are up.
All right. So, seeing that this thing is on Teera's back, and just going to the hairstylist on her, Sarah is gonna pull out her longbow again and noose another arrow, trying to maybe use a little bit more momentum to try and push this thing off of Teera's back. She's gonna make an attack.
Don't
That
miss.
is gonna be a 19 to hit.
Yeah. Yep. Roll
Alright.
damage.
Okay, that's
like a-
going to be 7 points of damage.
Your arrow strikes this imp, and immediately it just goes boom into the shelf. Your arrow impales the wood between
Yes.
2 stacks of books, and the imp just it's just starting to laugh, like, and it looks down, holding onto the shaft, and then it goes, ah, damn, and just explodes into a puff of black smoke, and a little bit of ash just sort of drifts down to the ground, and it's dead. It's gone.
Oh!
We are children.
Yay!
Yay!
Again.
Sirius like, thanks, Asaria.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mizya. Your thing was great too.
Yes, yes.
Saria's gonna quickly move over.
I look over at Mizya, who's giving me sass, and I go over to Mizya, and I'm huge compared to Mizya. Mizya is tiny, and I just kind of like cross my arms and I just say, "Now we're even, yeah."
Yes, yes. Even, sure.
And then I just kind of go about my business. I want to go over to see if Atreus is alive. Is he dead?
Yeah, I was about to see if I can do a medicine check on Atreus, please.
Yeah, so whoever wants to specifically do the medicine check, if the other one's helping, you can do so with advantage.
Okay.
I wouldn't know how to help. It's a shame we don't have a doctor in the party. Hey, Doc.
Yeah,
Maybe you should help Asaria. Maybe you should help Asaria take care of Atreus, yeah?
Oh, okay. And Doc will go over. He'll go into his satchel. He'll pull out his magnifying glass, and he will look over Asaria's shoulder as she's investigating.
Okay.
Gary, it's a testament to how good a player you are that I was expecting you to pull out a magnifying glass.
Thank you.
I was ready.
Advantage because I rolled a 1 first and then a 20. So
Okay.
22. Thank you for helping, Doc.
Doc,
You're welcome.
are you looking through the magnifying lens, or are you holding it out for Assyria to look through?
I'm looking through the magnifying
Okay.
lens. That's my helping.
So between the two of you, looking over, you're able to determine, one, that Matreus is dead and has been dead for a number of hours.
Oh no.
And
It's too bad.
you find the spot on his neck where it looks like the imp attacked him and stabbed him in the neck and killed him.
Oh no.
I come up behind these two and I'm like, well,
He's gone.
Oh yes, he's quite dead.
That's one way
that's
to
a
put it.
shame.
I'm more concerned about his friend that sent us looking for him.
Oh yes, we'll have to tell his friend that he's dead.
Teera leans down and starts going through Matreus's pockets.
Of course you do.
I'm going through Matreus's pockets. I want to search him.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
12.
You find a small, on an inside pocket of, he wears this sort of, almost like, I don't want to say trench coat, but it's sort of like that, sort of not full length, but it's kind of like a long coat. On an inside pocket of it, you find that there is this leather case that's sort of rolled up. It's got a strap on it, and you can open it up, and inside you find 5 sheets of parchment, a bottle of ink, and a quill. Though none of the pages have been marked upon. This just appears to be some kind of a writing kit. You find 12 gold pieces and 3 silver pieces. Is somebody writing all this down? Because I'm not keeping track of your loot.
Yep, we got it.
And you find a couple other items, scraps of paper. It looks like he may have jotted down some things real quick. Like you just make a couple observations of the miasma drains you if you spend too much time in it. Too many books to count. We'll have to catalog later. Really good food, all things considered. It sounds like he spent a little bit of time in there. But other than, I would say even with your 12, you notice one thing, and with your experience of what you just noticed, that the one thing that he had in his possession that you no longer find in his possession is a figurine of an imp.
Oh, guys, I think that thing that came alive, I think that was what he had and took out of here, and it came alive when he got out.
Oh,
Yeah, a figurine of an imp, yeah? We just killed an imp. That's the only thing that he doesn't have anymore.
Yeah, I don't think imps are really native to here, at least to the library itself. So, to my knowledge, at least.
Hmm.
Maybe we should get rid of that sword. She's looking over at you. I mean, we've already beaten it once, but we might want to get rid of it.
Well, I look it over. Does it feel like it's coming to life? Does it feel
Came
Nope.
to life one day.
is the portal still open?
I would say in the little bit, because of the medicine check and searching the body in that time, it closed.
Damn.
But you guys know the command word to open it up. It's written in the book.
Liberty.
That is not the command
Fuck!
word.
That's
Which one do we need to? How do we get back in? What was the command word?
Mizya.
Yeah.
Mizya.
Mizya is the
this.
one that knows the
Mizya.
command word. Which I'm trying to remember what it was. But Mizya knows it.
Says it.
And is able to say it, and the
I've completely lost it.
It's
Forgot what it was as well.
It's been a while.
Anyway, all I want to do is as soon as it opens back up, I want to just chuck the blade back through it.
Oh boy.
There.
Good.
Oh, scepter.
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 Yeah, so as you're trying to figure it out, then Mizya, just from over by the desk, just standing there looking down, would just say, scepter. And whoosh, the portal reappears. You're just going to chuck it through?
Yeah.
Yeet.
Sure.
I just chuck it back through. I'm like, well, that's that. We should probably, and then Teera's kind of rolling up all the paper and the notes and the quills and all that, and just kind of putting it back in the like scroll case and the gold pieces and stuff too. And then like wants to like tie it back up. And he's like, we should probably get this to little one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we
Seems
gonna
like
bring
fun.
his corpse to little one too?
No.
I think we should maybe get one of the lesser douchebags to take care of the body, and then we'll take this to little one out of respect. Yeah,
Mhm,
I think that seems like the right thing to do. And I look at Asaria because I realize Doc is his moral compass is just kind of constantly whirling around at all times.
Correct. Just hang on one moment, and she'll kind of move over to. I'm blanking on the wizard's name again. Sorry.
Atreus.
Matreus, thank you. He wants to say Mizya, but Mizya's alive and well.
He's another wizard.
Matreus.
They're our friend.
And she's going to. Is he like completely bald? Does he have like a little bit of like hair?
He was sort of, I would say he was sort of middle-aged. He had longish hair and a fringe, so he's got that sort of bald spot on top, but he's got the fringe of hair that's probably shoulder length, a little salt and pepper.
Okay. She's gonna pluck some hairs real quick from the top of his head. I'll explain in a minute. And start rummaging in her bag, and you see she's pulling out another what looks like a pine cone with little pieces of wood attached to it, so it looks almost like a oh my god, like a giant pig almost in its shape with this pine cone, and she's gonna wrap a little hair around the pine cone. It's for little one. It's what we used to do whenever we lost a friend or animal. So that way he's always with. Let's just go.
That's nice because Matreus is dead.
How about we have Doc wait outside of the?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Probably a good idea.
Why? Why should I wait outside?
Just because sometimes, Doc, you're very blunt.
Which is great, but in this instance, there's a little bit of sensitivity that needs to. Think of little one as a bit of glass. You want to approach very carefully so it doesn't break.
Oh, you want to sensitively lie?
No, it's more break the news, but with sensitivity.
Tell you what, Doc, you and I can go back. We can get a drink while Asaria is talking to little one.
Okay.
You and I could just talk.
Okay.
Okay.
If you don't tell him that Matreus died, does it bring him back to life?
No.
That would be nice.
We'll work on it. It would be nice, but no, we'll work on it. I think between myself and Teera, we'll be able to
Yeah. Doc, it'll be
communicate this
fine.
a little bit. Yeah, we'll be able to.
We're not gonna and as we're walking towards the thing, Tira's explaining to Doc that we're not gonna lie to little.
Before you
sorry.
leave the room, just I think Mizya would remind you.
Oh yeah.
It is 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh. Well.
Remember, you took a long rest from about 4 in the afternoon until midnight, and only about an hour has gone by since that rest. So, just so you're aware of the time, I'm not dissuading you from doing anything, but.
Well,
I mean, Little One is probably waiting on bated breath. We could at least go check the tavern and see if he's there.
Tavern. I mean, it's only 1 o'clock. At least the ones that I'm familiar, they're open until.
It's only 1 o'clock. Listen to this one. The night is young. We should probably just go and check out the tavern, and if it's closed, it's closed. We find a place to sleep and get back in the morning.
And I mean, this is kind of urgent. I mean, to get him kind of cleared away. So
yeah, he's gonna start to rot.
Yeah, so I would say this warrants a unfortunately waking up the other members.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go check out the tavern.
All right.
Head to the tavern, but also look if there's maybe somebody wandering the halls or.
Yeah. Let's look for one of the lesser scholars to just tell them maybe caution tape on that door.
As you leave this room, as a reminder, you are in the Pillars of Pedagogy. You were brought into those. The hearth is across the way. Yeah, the hearth is here, which is the tavern.
Well,
as you're...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I got an idea. Asaria,
yeah.
How about you go to the tavern and check out and see if you can find Little One?
Okay.
And then Doc and me can try to find someone to let them know there's a dead body in there.
Right. I think that works perfectly, actually.
And Vaughn, Mizya, you can go with whoever you want to go with. Or just go get a drink, I guess.
Did you see where they keep the janitor supplies? Do we need a mop?
We are not cleaning this up, Doc. That would look suspicious as hell. We're going to find somebody and tell them what happened.
Okay.
And Asaria will, using her memory, kind of wander and try and make her way outside.
So, as you're moving through the halls, who's of Mizya and Vorn, who are they going to go with?
I would invite Vorn to come with us because I trust Vorn and I like Vorn. Mizya can go with this area.
All right.
If they want to, yeah.
So you're just going to wander.
Mizya doesn't want to do any of this.
Yeah, Mizya doesn't want to be bothered. She probably just wants to sit in that office anyways, just reading and rummaging through the
forever
dead wizard stuff.
I would imagine you might even notice Mizya is, whenever you look over, Mizya has that tome that they had found, and they're just sort of leafing through it, and whenever you draw attention to them, they just sort of and carefully close it and tuck it back in their belongings. They will go with you, Asaria, as you and Soren head out the way you were led through the pillars, through some halls, and you begin to head across the court of air. Doc and Vorn and Teera are going the other way, walking through the halls, trying to find somebody that they can tell about this body. And that sounds like a good place to take a break. We're going to go ahead and take about a 5 to 10 minute break, and we will be back in just a few minutes to see what happens next. We will see you in just a few moments. And we're back. Having left the study room, leaving the dead body of Matreus on the floor of the study room, the party splits. Mizya, Saria, and Soren are heading to the Hearth, the tavern across the Court of Air, in order to meet up with Little One and break the news to them. Teera and Doc and Vorn are heading through the pillars, trying to find someone that they can alert as to what has happened. Teera and Doc, I would like you to make me investigation checks.
Okay. Well. Oh gosh.
14.
7. Boom, 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 boom.
As you're going through the halls, you find that all of these halls, more or less, are gently curving, with doors being on the inside of these sort of curved walls leading into these various study chambers. What are you doing? And then occasionally these areas are bisected by hallways. What are you doing to search for people other than just looking, or is that all you're doing?
Teera,
Yeah, what?
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
I could make this piece of glass sound like a trumpet.
Well, Doc, I think we should maybe try to ingratiate ourselves a little bit with the people here, just in case, waking them up with reveille in the middle of the night doesn't, rub them the right way.
But
Maybe we should look and see if anybody's awake first.
but don't we want to find someone?
Yeah, but maybe we could find somebody quietly, just so we don't piss anybody off, yeah? Doc, do you understand how that might piss somebody off? It's 1:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with it?
We don't want to piss them off. We might be here for a while, and we don't want everybody pissed at us.
But why would it piss them off?
That's a good question. I don't know. But I know it pisses me off when people wake me up in the middle of the night.
Doc, as the two of you are walking and you're passing by a couple of these doors, you notice that as you pass by a couple of doors, just in those couple of steps as you pass by the door, you suddenly can't hear Teera or yourself, and then you can. It's as if your hearing and or voice just vanishes for a second or two as you walk by some of these doors.
Teera, I need a minute.
Well, okay.
Doc is going to get a piece of metal, and he's going to put it to the side of his head, and for 10 minutes he's going to spin in a circle, and he's going to ritually cast detect magic.
Tara's seen this before, so she just kind of shakes her head and just sort of crosses her arms and stands up against a wall, looking muscular.
So Teera's and Vorn are just waiting as Doc just begins once again. I need a minute, which means 10.
10. I guess I do want to ask Vorn real quick while we're waiting for Doc, and Doc is just spinning around like a dog chasing its tail. I do want to ask Vorn, I'm like, so that whole thing with the bookshelf, I have to know who was the person that eventually got that thing? Who struck the final blow?
Who did strike the final blow?
It was Assyria? I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, Saria hit it with the longsword, I think.
Yeah.
Vorn would just kind of look around. It was Assyria. She's really good with a sword.
That little thing is good with a sword.
And a bow.
Oh shit. Well, remind me not to mess with this area.
Teera, you hear from a little ways past where Doc is still spinning in circles. You hear dong, dong. I would say it's kind of like a
Somebody's playing beer pong. Let's go. Doc, what you need?
Oh, I just wanted a point of order. You said circles. It's just one continuous circle.
Wait, is Doc talking to the DM now?
Doc is, I don't know. Who are you talking to, Doc? Are you talking to God?
Doc has unlocked Break Fourth Wall.
That's a feat. He gets it at 1.5 level.
DM has now entered play.
So I want to kind of like, as Doc is still spinning around in circle, Teera wants to kind of like tap Vorn and just be like, stay here for a second. I want to go check something out. And then I want to go to see if I can just like see what's that sound.
Yeah, you sort of begin walking past, and you keep walking, and you get to this point just where, as you're going around this slight curve of the wall, to just where you're about to lose sight of Doc. And you see ahead of you the source of this sound. It's very bizarre what you see. You see about a 3-foot diameter copper and brass orb. It has several pieces of very ornate copper and brass extending off of it. 2 very fine pieces come up off from the sides of it. It has what looks like very delicate, almost metal foil wings. In the center of the orb is a single eye. Very thin, spindly copper arms with very thin, delicate fingers, and thin, spindly legs ending in silver and copper and brass feet. The legs, the knees bend backwards like ostriches or something like that.
Okay.
And there is what appears to be a mouth below the eye. This thing has grasped in one of its hands a leather book, and it is rhythmically dunk, dunk, bouncing into the wall, stopping, seems to look around for a moment, and continuing to try to walk forward.
Through the wall.
Yep.
How long has Doc been spinning at this point?
I would say maybe 3 or 4 minutes at this point.
Okay. Well, Teera, knowing that there's time, just kind of goes up to this thing, and you said it's about 3 feet?
The whole thing stands, I would say, probably stands close to 6 feet tall.
Oh, then never
with its
mind.
legs fully... Well, hold on. No. That's not right. Yeah, let's say closer to 5. But it's these thin legs. It's just this orb that's right around eye height, maybe a little below your eye line.
Okay. But the orb is 3 feet in diameter?
Yes.
Okay. Teera wants to go up kind of behind this thing, as much behind as she can reckon whatever its behind is, and just like turn it so it's facing down the hall.
Oh.
Are you trying to sneak up on it?
No, not really. I want to help it out. Like, it seems like it's a Roomba that's stuck in a corner. I want to make sure.
Help, I'm stuck on a cliff.
I want to like turn it.
So as you approach it, I'm going to see if it notices you approaching. Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
As you approach it, it stops, and you can hear this sort of mechanical sound as it, in place, much like Doc is rotating in circle. It just goes, taking very tiny steps until it's facing you. It opens its mouth, and you hear, and it holds this leather book out towards you.
I like very slowly and tentatively like go to take it. And do like, because I just, if this thing like shocks me or something, I want to like jerk my hand back, but I just want to like try to take it from the thing.
You do so.
And
You're
I
able
like,
to easily take the book away from it. It.
Thank you.
And it sort
I
of,
love it.
its whole body sort of rotates for a moment. The wings. It turns. Takes a few steps forward. Dunk. Dunk. And starts bouncing right back into the wall where you found it.
I'm gonna cut my losses. I'm gonna go back to Doc and forth. And on my way back, I want to look at the book. I did all I could.
Okay. So you just took a book from the Great
the
Library
Roomba.
of Candlekeep's Roomba.
Yep. What?
And you begin to walk back, and as you do so, we are going to cut to the Court of Air, where Mizya, Soren, and Assyria are walking across this wide open courtyard. It is completely empty of people. You do see light coming from a few of the windows around here. There's the there's the your destination, of course, the hearth, which is brightly illuminated. The over near the entrance to the east, the bath and steam house appears to have lights in it. The next to the hearth is the house of rest, which is the inn. Also seems to have lights, and you see far to the west, at the western edge of the courtyard, you see glowing in the darkness, you see the emerald door that is the gateway that leads into the inner ward of Candlekeep. You are able to easily make your way across the Court of Air. You're heading straight for the hearth. So you are able to do so easily. As once again, as you walk in, you see the warm light spilling out from some windows on either side of the door. But as you pass through the door, there's that momentary bit of I've lost the word I want. Yep. Vertigo, I guess. That's what I want. As you step into a space that is much larger on the inside than the outside. You see, again, lining the walls, all the various doors. And in the center of the room is the fire pit, with the chairs seated all around it. And seated in the very large overstuffed armchair is the form of Little One, slouched with an open book across his chest, a pair of I think they're called pince-nez, the little round glasses that attach to your nose,
Wow.
perched on the end of his nose, and he is lightly snoring.
Oh, fuck. Get ready for some tears. Have your Kleenex ready, everybody.
There's a few patrons in here. It is a tavern after all. 1 o'clock in the morning is, much as you've said, not too late. What are you going to do? You're muted, Jordan.
We appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Saria will kind of turn towards Mizya, looking slightly uncomfortable. Perhaps you better stay by the door for this one, just in case Teera and Doc make their way down here. I just don't want to kind of crowd little one as we're kind of sharing this news.
Yes, I will sit here and look through my books.
There you go. Perfect.
And Mizya takes a seat at one of the tables near the door outside of that circle around the fire.
The entire time Asaria has been walking through downstairs and even across the area just outside of the tavern, she's held that pine cone hog that has the hair tied around. And she was looking up at the stars kind of as they were walking. She's going to make her way over to Little One and just kind of lightly tap his shoulder.
Reverse him. Just this huge, almost roar of a yawn.
Amazing.
Oh, hello.
Hi, little one. I'm sorry to disturb your sleep.
It was Assyria, right?
That's correct.
Hello, Soren. Hello, doggy. And he reaches over, pat, pat, pat.
I know he's the only one that could ever call Soren a doggy.
I
Only
love it.
one
I love
ever.
it. I love it. That is totally
Only
fair,
one.
though, dude. It's totally fair.
I was hoping to see you earlier today. Have you found my friend Matthias?
I have.
I don't see him.
Listen, little one, can we step outside for just a moment?
Outside?
Yeah. It's a beautiful night, and you can look at
Sure.
the stars real quick while I talk to you.
Yes, that's fine. And there's this sort of creaking. He sets the book that he's reading down on a table next to him, and sets the little glasses. He unpinches them from his nose and sets them down on the book. And he just, as he does so, he just gives it a gentle pat as if to say, "Stay there." And then
Aw.
just this
Oh,
creaking and groaning of the chair as this ogre rises to his full height of this guy's like 12 feet tall, towering over you. And he turns and heads for the door.
Alright.
When he gets to the door, he just reaches down and with two fingers just gently pushes the door open to hold it open for you.
Alright. She'll step out into the night. Are there any like benches or anything in this courtyard?
Yeah, I'd say there's a bit of some tables and benches and chairs outside, like an outside dining area.
All right. Let's see. And do we see like the stars, the moon?
Yeah, with the courtyard being mostly dark, there's not a lot of light pollution coming from
Right.
Candlekeep, so I would say, yeah, you could definitely see some stars.
Little one, I think this is the perfect seat to look up at the stars. And she'll kind of gesture at a bench. So, we went looking for Matreus. He was in a very dangerous place. And he did very well. But unfortunately, he didn't survive the trip back.
What do you mean?
He was trying very hard to make it his way back to you. He was very excited to, actually. Unfortunately, when he made his way through this area, he took something that rebelled and downed him. He's no longer with us. And he's not going to be able to visit you, at least physically. And at this point, she's kind of starting to slowly maneuver the pine cone a little bit closer. You know that trinket I gave you before we left?
He reaches down into the pocket of this rough spun tunic that he has, and he pulls out the little figure that looks like Soren, and holds it out once again, tiny. Oh yes, the little doggy you gave me. I love him so much.
Oh my god.
I'm trying so hard not to cry.
I don't understand, Assyria. You said Matreus isn't with you.
He passed on.
What? I'm sorry. Are you telling me that you found Matreus? But Matreus is dead.
Yes. We found him alive. We were sending him back to you, and unfortunately, the trip was just a little bit too dangerous. And he didn't make it back.
Where is Matreus?
Matreus, and at this point, she kind of realizing he's still super tall, even if he is sitting on the bench. She kind of kneels down and she pulls out the hog. Well, he's here. You know how that you have that wolf, Soren? That's you. And now you have Matreus too. He's here. And she'll kind of also put her hand forward, not touching him directly, but kind of just hovering over his chest where his heart would be. He's always there. And she moves it up to his head. He's always there too. So he's not fully gone. My mother, and I apologize if this is a lot, my mother used to tell me that whenever our friends had to leave us, they're always watching us in some way, shape, or form. Whether they're around us in the wind, smiling down on us from the sun, giving us guidance from the stars and from the moon, or giving us a gentle hug whenever we go in the water. Atreus is always going to be with you. He just may not be with you physically. but he's always with you. And I know one of the last things that he said to at least our group is that he wanted very hard to come back to you and for you to keep moving on. I know this must be hard, and I'm sorry that this is a lot. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's reassuring to think about. Are you okay?
Little one heaves a big sigh, just. And in that great sigh, you can hear the quavering a little bit. When a few years ago, when I squished that little halfling and took his headband, I understood that squishing things made them die. But I didn't understand it. And I told you when I took his headband and put it on, and I started to know things, and as I've read books over the years, I've learned more and more things. One of the things that I think this headband has done for me, and perhaps I like to think of it as a great equaliser for the great tragedy of which I have done, in taking that little halfling's life, is I have grown to understand the meaning of life. Well, not the true meaning, that's the pursuit of the knowledge of reading the books, and why we study, and we ever seek to expand our knowledge. But I've understand the preciousness of life. Not a day goes by that I don't grieve for that little one that I squished all those years ago. I think of it every time somebody calls my name, and that's why I took that name. And I think that's both a blessing and a curse, what this intelligence has given me, as I now understand not only what it means, what the death means for Atreus. His life is gone. His studies are for naught. He will not pursue them no longer. Sorry, any longer. But the greater thing I've learned about death, and Assyria in Sorin, this is the hardest thing I've had to learn, is when a person loses their life, like Matreus. He's gone for me too. And no longer can we have lunch together. No longer can we try to drink each other under the table. I always won.
I figured.
But no longer can we argue about our philosophies and our beliefs. No longer can we share bread around the fire. And that makes me sad. But I am also grateful that I understand the importance of meeting other people and other lives, like you and your friends. I only just met you earlier today, and you've already given me two wonderful gifts. One by which I can always remember your little doggy Sorin, and now this little piggy by which I can always remember my friend Matreus. Oh dear. I'm going to have to tell Irony what has happened. She and the other sages will be sad too.
Is there anything that we can do?
I will send word to Irony to come here. If you go inside, actually,
Right.
to the barkeep and tell them to summon Irony, he will do so without question. Tell them Little One said he needs to speak to them.
Okay.
And that will give me some moments alone to ponder the stars as Matreus no longer can. And you see as he sort of looks up in the light that's spilling out from the inside of the hearth, which there's no moon. It's a new moon, so the only light is really those windows and just a myriad stars across the sky. You see the wetness on his cheeks and the tears coming down his face as he's not sobbing outright, but he's definitely crying.
Do you want me to bring out some water or ale too?
No, just have them summon Irony and wait inside.
All right.
I just need a few moments to collect my thoughts.
Of course.
As you go to stand up, though,
yeah,
he abruptly but gently reaches out and just takes your hand. Thank you. I know this can't have been easy for you, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you being the one to tell me this.
of course.
You should get some rest. There's lodgings next door in the House of Rest. You and your friends should find sleep and rest in there. You'll most likely have to answer some questions in the morning.
I figured.
Please.
Oh.
If you don't mind.
Of course. And she'll kind of get up. Soren, stay. And she'll head back into the tavern. Before she gets in, she'll kind of pause at the door. And kind of, if you were panning the camera, she's repeating a lot of what she just said to Little One, to herself, before she goes into the tavern, where she'll find the barkeep. Little One is asking for Irony. Asked to speak to them urgently.
Very well. And the barkeep just heads off to a side of the bar and then opens up a door and disappears for a moment. Comes back out a moment later and just says, "They are on their way."
Perfect. Could I, by chance, get 2 things of ale, please?
Yes, of course. And we'll absolutely
Perfect.
pour you some ale. At which time, happening concurrent with this last
Jesus,
several
Jordan.
minutes, is Teera, and you've already returned with the book back to where Vorn is with Doc. Doc, you're just sort of finishing up your ritual, and your detect magic begins to read. And the first thing you notice is within range, there's a few doors that have obvious magic emanating from beyond them. That is, where is it? Illusion magic. Specifically several of the rooms, not all of them, appear to have had permanent silent spells cast on them. And you recall when you first arrived that it had been mentioned to you that when you were heading to the Pillars of Pedagogy, that this is the case for some of the study areas to provide uninterrupted study from inside and outside. That rooms are available for people to study in that have permanently been silenced, so you can neither make noise from within nor hear anything inside or out. You appear to have occasionally wandered into the edge of that field that sort of bleeds into the hallway. There's also a faint bit of transmutation magic that is emanating from the book that Teera is holding in her hands.
Oi, boys, I found the book. There was
Teera?
also this weird thing. It was like a room, but what?
Where did you find that book?
There was this weird spider thing in the hallway. It looked like he was stuck, but he had this book in his hand, and I went up to him, and he just like handed it to me. The weirdest thing.
Teera, may I see the book?
Well, yeah, sure, I guess. And I hand Doc the book. Jesus! We need a frickin' inspiration for that. That was cool.
I will grant inspiration.
That was international. That was international.
Whenever players or, in some cases, the audience indicate that somebody should get inspiration, I will almost always honor that.
I don't want to be a hog.
And I can greatly appreciate that trick because I pulled it off a couple years ago with a Taroka deck. Ironically, the DM was Canadian, also was up in Canada, and handed the Taroka deck towards the camera, and I went, okay, I've drawn my card.
Yay!
Well done, well done. What are you doing with the book?
I'm going to look at the title of it, and I'm going to see if I get a better sense of how it's magical. Why is it transmutation? Can I get, if I focus on it, can I get a better idea of what it's all about?
First, as you're looking at the book, what you see is it's about 7 by 9. It's made of a brown leather cover that is very worn from time. It looks almost like a journal that's been handled for a number of years. And even from the outside, you can tell that, one, it's not super thick. There's about maybe 150 pages in here. But near the end of the book, probably a good third of the book near the end, the pages don't match any of the other pages. They're different kinds of paper. Some of them aren't quite trimmed the same size. There's even some of them that seem to be very quickly sewn into the book, very haphazard. There is no title on this book. There's nothing on the spine.
All I know is it radiates transmutation magic.
You can,
but I can't tell you what that means.
You can go ahead and make an Arcana check for me, if you would like.
6.
Yeah, you can tell that there's some transmutation magic on it, but you can't really tell exactly what that means. You don't know if it's the book itself or something within the book, within its pages. It's just glowing with that ping of your spell. Are you looking through it, or are you just looking at it kind of like flipping over?
Doc will open it.
Okay. So just flipping through it initially, you actually see inside, the very inside cover piece that you see has in a very elegant cursive writing with black ink, it says Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions. And then below that, where did it go? Below that is written apparently the name of the author, Mazfroth Gethur. Thank you, Smokebeard, for the resub. It's another domain dive for y'all. So the title of the book is now in the side chat, along with the author. Very elegant, as I said. However, as you begin to flip through the book, the rest of it completely belies this elegant title page. It is terribly anxious handwriting. Either somebody that just had very poor handwriting, or was writing everything constantly in a state of anxiety or haste. It is a mess. And you can see even now as you open it up that in places it looks like pages could literally just fall out.
Doc will close the book and put it in his satchel, and he will look at Teera and say, "There's not much I can do with this now. Maybe Mizya knows something about it. I can't say I've ever heard of this Mazfroth person."
I have never heard of that person either. It's
Oh.
super weird. Have I heard of that person? I don't know. I can't imagine I would.
I mean,
Make like a
you
history
can
check?
certainly try.
I would like to make a history check. 15.
You have never heard of Mazfroth Gethur.
Never heard of that person. Yeah, I think we should check with Mizya. They seem to know books.
Should we go back and find them now?
No, we should wait, and we should find somebody to tell about the dead body that's in the frickin' room.
Oh, that's true.
That was why we came in here, and then we got kind of sidetracked. And then Teera is just kind of puts her hands on her hips, and this whole frickin' adventure has taken a while. And she just sort of says, "Doc, you said something about a trumpet. You don't have a trumpet, do you?"
I don't have a trumpet, no, but I can make. He pulls out what looks to be a laboratory slide, and he said, I can make this sound like a trumpet."
Why don't you? Because I'm getting sick of looking for people.
Okay, so Doc is going to pull out a laboratory slide, and he's going to pull out his thieves' tools. He's going to wrap the piece of glass in wire. He's going to sprinkle it with black powder, and he's going to rub it together, and he's going to snap his fingers, and all of a sudden it will blare like a trumpet using his magical tinkering. It'll be like burp,
Oh,
burp.
thought it was playing Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. That would have been great. Oh well.
I'm an artificer, not a musician.
You're blasting just random trumpet noises.
As requested. As Teera, you'll notice that as the magic is imbued into the glass trumpet, the small glass flower that Doc gave you wilts slightly.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm making a note. Wow.
Doc, roll me a D100. I'm going to use one of my sliding scale percentile checks here.
88.
All right, see, that's 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Surprisingly, there is no reaction from any of the rooms to you blowing a trumpet in the hallway.
Oh, scheisse. There's the
Vorn-
freaking silent spell.
Vorn leans over to you and just says, "You know, with it being so late, I wonder if there's anybody actually in many of these rooms.
Hmm.
Not
That's
to mention
true.
the silence."
It's a good call. Maybe we should just go out to the court of air and see if there's anybody milling about.
Okay.
It's the best bet, I guess, probably. Better than frickin' study hall here.
Yeah.
And Teera starts to make her way outside.
So you're all able to continue, find your way out easy enough. You head outside of the tower that you were in, and you move through the gate into the court of air, and you don't actually see anybody out in the court of air.
Damn it.
But you see the lights from across the way, where the hearth is and the house of rest. A few other lights. There's a few sconces along the walls, or braziers that have fires burning, but not much in the way of light. The whole center of the court of air is actually very dark. Would be dim light. What is your passive perception, Teera?
Passive perception is a 13.
That's what Vorn's is as well. What's yours, Doc?
9.
Vorn and Teera, you catch sight from the west where the emerald door is, as sort of silhouetted against the door, having apparently just emerged from there. You see a humanoid figure begin darting across the courtyard. They look like they are just sort of still kind of pulling on some, like an outer garment, fastening a belt, and you can see the familiar curling horns over their head as Irony is running across the courtyard at an angle, sort of an oblique angle to where you're heading across the courtyard. They seem to be making a beeline to the hearth.
I point across the way and I'm like, "Oi, you think Irony just got a little action, eh?" As I kind of gesture to Irony putting on their clothes. Presumably. I lean to Vorn and say that. Doc wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I'd say just like
Sorry, Cari.
maybe 10 seconds after you say that, Irony sort of adjusts their course a little bit as they can see in the dark and have spotted you. And they come running up. Oh, hello. I was not expecting to see you here. Sorry, I got summoned to the hearth.
Yeah, Irony, I don't know why you would have gotten summoned to the hearth. I guess I got a pretty good idea.
What? Were you successful?
You could say that.
Where's the others?
Well, so Asaria and Mizya, Doc, no, I'm going to ask that you lower your hand. I normally would say whatever, but I'm not. Asaria and Mizya went to the hearth. I think they probably summoned you. Couldn't tell you though. And we are looking for somebody to tell. You know what, Doc? Yeah, why don't you field this one?
What was your question, Irony?
I was just wondering where everybody was. I see.
Oh,
At least a couple of you are missing, and you've made your way from out of that portal that you found, but I don't see Matreus. Did he stay behind? Does he go on ahead somewhere?
No, he's in his office.
Oh. Well, that's good. You.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. I do not understand.
Is Doc feeling something?
His
Doc?
his your friend's body is in his office. I'm sorry he died.
Oh,
We tried to save him, but we couldn't.
Betrays is dead.
Yeah.
How did it happen?
We can't say for sure. We went into the portal and then we met Matreus and he was alive. And then he exited the portal and we heard a noise, but we didn't know what the noise meant. And then we spent about 14 hours wandering around a magnificent mansion. And then we escaped. But then we found Matreus's body. And then there was a small creature that had a tail that had a spike on it. And then that
It was an
creature
imp.
died.
we
It
killed
was
it.
it was an imp. We killed
An
it.
imp? How did an imp get into the study room?
That's a great question.
We kind of think that maybe Matreus brought it with him out of the portal. When we met him and he was alive, he had a little figurine of one. Looked just like the one that killed him.
Matreus always has to... He never understands the... Look with your eyes, not with your hands. He has to always touch things to understand them. I told him it was going to get him killed one day. I did not mean it. Oh dear. Suddenly, they look over towards the hearth.
Oh. Irony. If you're worried about telling the yoga,
Yes,
that's where half of our
I'm-
party is. We sent the half elf that was with us, and a dog. We sent her to tell little one the news.
They look over at the hearth and sort of start to take a step, and then... Alright, listen. Teera, it was, I believe, yes?
Yeah.
It is late. You should take your friends, and you should go to the House of Rest. I will have to talk to little one, and then I will have to go speak to the Archmage and the Master Sage. I'm afraid there will probably be questions for you in the morning.
What kind of questions?
We just want to know... They're going to want to know more of what happened.
I kind of look at Irony and I just say, you will like, you put in a good word for us, right?
Well,
like we.
I'm sorry. I do not mean for it to sound like this will be an accusation.
Huh.
This, I think, is... I mean, a sage has been found dead. And you are the only ones that know the circumstances around this. And you were in the portal. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. There are probably going to be questions for me as well. I will explain more later. I need to see the little one. I will put in this good word. I don't think this is a situation that you have to worry about being blamed. But the circumstances will require some sort of investigation, I am sure of it. Please,
That's fair.
I would like to go speak to my friend. Find your friends, go to the House of Rest. They will have rooms for you there. And
Teera.
go no further than the house in the morning.
Okay. Does Irony run off?
Irony takes off and runs across to the hearth.
As Irony runs off, you go, but Irony's already too far away, and then Teera just kind of stands there, like, do either one of you remember where the House of Rest was?
No.
Shit.
I have a question, though.
What's your question, Doc?
When you told me to tell Irony that his friend died, I was going to do it. But then it's almost as though something stopped me. It was like right here. It got really cold. And
did it kind of hurt? Did it kind of hurt a little bit, Doc? Like in your chest?
No, it didn't hurt, but it felt like something was on top of it. Something very heavy. Something that was holding me down, and I almost couldn't speak. But I didn't see anything.
It's one of those weird things, Doc, that happens to people, just about everybody, in fact. You felt remorse, not because you did anything wrong, but just because you feel bad for somebody. That's it's called empathy. You feel bad because you had to give somebody bad news and it made them sad. Didn't do anything wrong. You just feel bad because they feel bad, you know?
That seems like a waste. Why does it happen?
You have a lot of good questions, Doc.
Thank you.
I don't have a good answer, I'm afraid. It just happens. That's being a person, you know?
Okay.
Vaughn, you remember where the house arrest was?
Actually, I rolled an insight check and got higher than an 18.
Hey.
Vorn points to the building that's literally attached to the hearth, to the left of it, and just sort of turns you a little bit and says, "That's it right there." Maybe you can't see as well in the dim light as he adjusts his goggles, but the sign right next to that torch says House of Rest.
Yeah, I can't see quite as well. I don't have the orc blood in me. Or your fancy goggles. 4 eyes. And then I just start kind of trudging off towards the House of Rest. And I'm like, well, come on, boys. We got to go rest at the House of Rest.
As you are heading over to the House of Rest, eventually, I imagine Assyria and Mizya and Soren would join. But the last thing we see as the three of you are heading over to the House of Rest is we see the figure of Irony, the teenage tiefling, go running up to where you see little one in the light spilling out of the windows, and Irony runs up and sort of comes to a stop and just stands there for a moment, where you can just see the silhouette of the great ogre sitting with his arms on his knees, sort of hunched over, and he's looking at something in his hands.
Oh.
And then he looks up at Irony, and there's a moment they don't say anything, and then little one reaches down and scoops Irony up in his arms and pulls them in close. And the last thing you hear as you walk into the House of Rest is you can hear Irony and little one lightly sobbing under the stars. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session. We are also ending Book 1, The Joy of Extradimensional Spaces.
Oh, it was called The Missing Sage, right?
That was the first chapter. This chapter was Blades, Books and Beyond. We will next week. So at certain points, I will be letting you know when we finished a chapter or a book and we're moving into the next book. That does not mean that we are instantly moving into the pre-published materials. This is a campaign. You are all amazing characters. We are going to continue to explore what you guys want to do, and there's going to be some in-between stuff because of what happened. There will be questions. You will have to talk to some people in authority. However, you've just leveled up.
Yes!
You are
Level 2!
You are now level 2.
Level 2!
We're not as squishy.
Yay!
What I would like you to do is
Wow.
I would like you to think in character about what your leveling means for your character as you've become stronger. It's not something you have to go into some great soliloquy about, but just kind of think about what it means beyond just changing some numbers on your character sheet. Particularly as you, with your classes, start to come into unique features and things. I think it'll be fun to explore how those happen. But the other thing is, I'll have Dwight and Ricky do this on their own. But before we end tonight, let's go ahead and have you all roll for your new hit points. The way I do it is for beyond level 1. Obviously, you're going to roll. And you're going to add your con modifier, but if the die roll equals a 1, you get a free reroll.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Mine's going to be a 2. Watch.
Quick question, Jake, because
Oh, mine was a 1.
it's been a bit since I've actually rolled myself versus using D&D Beyond. What would I use for a ranger?
It should be on your character sheet what your hit die is. I think
Should
it's
be D10.
It's just,
I
it's
think-
right under, well, mine's a 12 because I'm a barbarian.
right.
It's right under
I think
your
rangers are
hit points.
10.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure,
Yeah.
Oh boy, I just got 13 hit points.
I rolled a
Nice.
2.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
so sorry. It's one of those things I spoke into existence.
9, and then you add your con modifier, correct?
Yep.
Mhm.
Correcto.
Yeah, so for you it's a +1, I believe.
Yay. Yes, it is.
So yeah, I just checked your sheet. It is a D10.
Perfect.
And then of course we'll see what the others get as they level up. And yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah, so that was the end of our chapter. I'm not sure we're gonna have 100% of everybody here next week. It's July 5th. It's the tail end of a holiday weekend, so we might be down 1 or 2 people, but we've proven we can get by with just 3 people. We definitely want to keep playing this game. This was a lot of fun.
It's a good one, guys.
This was a good role play session as well. I love exploring the emotional sides of characters, both NPCs and PCs. So this was all very well done. I did love the juxtaposition of Cari. Did you really not know why that Irony was pulling on their clothes, or were you just being Teera?
We'll go with I was just being Teera. No, I didn't fucking know.
Because it was so perfect for they're desperately running to find out why they're being summoned in the middle of the night, and you're like, hey,
Yep.
I think they just got some.
Yeah,
Hey.
he's got some, you know.
And all of a sudden they're
Listen.
like, I just got an emergency call.
I just got word a good friend of mine has passed.
Oh,
Jesus.
my
So,
gosh.
I'm not done pulling on your heartstrings. I've got something planned for next session.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
But
All the more reason to rejoin us for
But yeah,
Scribes and
so-
Scrolls, the Candlekeep
so
Mister.
I will say that I won't reveal the title, but beginning next week we will be in Book 2, Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the book. That's
yeah.
why they called it that.
That's why.
And
That's why they called it that.
Carrie and anybody else that didn't quite get the description, I didn't have the art ready to show up on the screen, but if you look up a monodrone, it's a type of modron. That is the creature that you encountered in the hallway.
Ooh.
No, I want to see how close it is to your description. I'll bet you it's pretty good. You're good at descripting. Dang, that's about wow.
Mhm.
That's awesome. And yes, that's about exactly what I pictured.
I know everybody gets nervous when you describe a spherical creature with
Right, with
with
one
a single
eye.
eye in the middle, especially with my known affinity for beholders.
And weird,
Um,
it's got like almost like tentacles.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them tentacles, but it's kind of like that.
Well,
Ugh.
thank you, the three of you. This was so much fun.
Mwah.
Um,
Ooh, rating?
yeah, let me
Question
check
mark?
on that. I do want to thank everybody who turned
Ooh.
in
Rating?
tonight.
Question
let me
mark?
check on that. We're gonna.
Whoa.
I do want to thank everybody who
Oh,
turned
don't
in.
go anywhere.
I wasn't
Oh,
muted, so
goodbye.
it was getting delay spilling through as I switched over. I don't. Can you tell me what is either of those the Twitch handle? Can you put that in there?
Yes, I can.
Because
do
I'm
Ah.
apparently not following them, and I need to remember.
What?
What?
I don't
Yes.
follow everybody, but when I find out about them, I do.
That's fair.
Oh,
It's hard to know everybody.
I should have known that.
There you go.
Yeah, so as I said, a huge thank you to all of you in chat who joined us. Special
Yay.
shout out to those of you who helped out with domain dice in whatever ways that you could.
Thank you.
And if you are lurking, just because you're not in chat, you're just quietly lurking in the background, we appreciate you all the same. In fact, I forgot to mention this quite a while ago. I put a lurk command in the chat commands because I know sometimes people like to just announce that they're going to lurk if they're normally watching. So there's a new chat command for lurking. And let's see. I think in just a moment here, we are going to... I'm going to click on follow here. We're going to raid Zerjester.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer they're streaming for, but I might have just tipped my hand as I followed the channel and I just saw that it just popped up on his screen. Wait, I don't have the raid button.
You've announced
there
your
it is.
presence.
There it is.
There you go.
So anyway, thank you everybody who tuned in. Today. We greatly appreciate all of you. We are going to raid in just a moment. So stick around for that. And be sure to tell them Mini Terrain Domain sent you. And of course, a huge thank you, as always, to my wonderful players, tonight, Gary, Jordan, and Cari, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for 2.5 hours. With that, we're going to get this raid kicked off. And we will see you on Thursday for some Dawnbringers, Rime of the Frost Maiden, as we pick up where we left off with that one. Thank you, everybody. Now we're going to end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Da-da.